Welcome to Aunty K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello and welcome to Aunty K's Tarot. I have 3 decks that have come in recently, sometime within the past month, and I thought I would share them, share my thoughts about them. I'm not going to show the boxes because one is a prototype, one is a review, and I know I have a different box for one of them than what they came in, and I'm not going to give that away, so we're not going to look at the boxes. We're just going to look at the cards in the deck, and if you've seen other reviews, you might figure out because I have a couple different cards. But anyway, let's get into this and see what I think and what I have going on. All right. So first up is the Mystic Gnome Tarot. So first up, we have the Mystic Gnome Tarot. And neither of these decks are in order. None of them are. So we're just going to look through. And I'm going to give you my quick opinions. So I got this deck because I thought that I might be interested in having a deck with keywords for working with people who are newer to tarot, and also to see what that was like. I've never had a tarot deck with keywords. It's not necessarily something I was looking for or needed, but I wanted to see in a practical sense, is it helpful? Is it limiting? Does it help me with folks who are learning tarot? And I find these really charming. There's a lot of detail in the art, like it's got texture. They're really very beautiful. I thought that the lack of facial expression would be a difficulty in this deck, but it isn't. They somehow manage to be cute, expressive little gnomies. And it is pretty adorable. They're all the same, like skin color, more or less, like, and they're gnomes, and I can't see anything but their beards, hands, and noses most of the time. Some of the cards, like, there's definitely feminine gnomes, and I would say that's definitely gendered, where it would be obvious that I was looking at a boy gnome and a girl gnome specifically. But in general, the gnomeness of this all makes this deck reads fairly universal for me, and I really quite enjoy it. There's even some cool Easter eggs in this deck, which I also really enjoyed, and if we find the Death and the Chariot in this flip over, we'll look at it. So they are RWS based decks. So they also read very easily in that means as well. Most of them are super typical. There's some exceptions. To that, I like it. I think, this is a really good deck. I ordered it on Kickstarter. I believe it can be found on Etsy. I'll put deck details. It wasn't expensive. The card quality is glossy and it's bendy. This deck shuffles very easily. It neither slips away or sticks, and I do appreciate it. I'm enjoying this deck. And I have it in with my work decks at the moment. I rotate those up every now and then. I might consider purple either masculine or feminine, but I think it's a braiding. So you can see it. The gendering essentially seems to be, but not always, or braided beards. Their beards are braided, which makes them, in my mind, look feminine, because of when and how that shows up, like for the queens and the empress and stuff. Although I don't know if I necessarily would have read them that way if they had been throughout the deck in non-typically female cards. Like, this card's just gorgeous, you know. The Six of Wands isn't always necessarily all that of an exciting card. It can be really colonial because the original RWS actually specifically depicts colonialism. But, like, yeah, I'm enjoying this deck. So if this is not the deck you expected, I was going to say I loved. There you go. Surprise. Go out and find it. I really am enjoying it. There's 2 extra majors, Shadow Work and Ancestors, or Spirit Guides, sorry. I kind of read it the same. And I like these cards, but most especially this one. I like the Judgment here. And the World. Was this in order and just backwards? Because I put it in order thinking of doing this yesterday and then didn't. Which means we are going to see exactly what I wanted to show everyone. I don't know why I always want to do that to the Hanged Man, folks. But you saw it here. I do like their Wheel of Fortune also. I like the way they did Strength. Okay, so here we go. We have the bunnies pulling the chariot, and we have the chariot broken, and the bunnies hopping away. And I thought that was pretty amazing. So I guess you got to see that one in reverse. I know I didn't do that with the other ones. Was it? So this is a Tarot of Life. I'm really happy with this deck also. This deck nails diversity and according to race, gender, sexualities, body sizes, age, everything. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I've not been drawn to plain white backgrounds because, you know, I'm a fan of Rainbow Puke. Let's pull this down a bit. But it's a really colorful deck, and the white backgrounds really make it stand out. I find the borders non-intrusive, or not necessarily limiting, because they come quite near the edges and are also clean and tidy, and the space just continues. I think this is truly a beautiful deck. It is an RWS based deck. You can easily see what cards they are, even when there's more differences in this deck than the Mystic Gnomes. And yet I always know what card I'm looking at when I look at this deck. There's definitely times with decks where some cards I look at them quickly and I misread what they actually are because it's just not necessarily always clear enough in the picture. And I found everything here to be really clear. This World card I find absolutely fascinating. I think it reminds us what a teeny drop in world history we are. The amount of space we should actually take up in the world should be small, should be about death and rebirth and rejuvenating and giving back. So I said I recognize every card. So I don't necessarily see anything traditional about this 17 the star, but I get it. There's stars in the background, and I haven't misread it. I did think when I first saw it I might misread it as the sun, but then I saw the sun and I'm not going to misread it as the sun. All right, I do like the matches for the wands. Okay, I like that the hands on the cup are also BIPOC hands, black person's hands specifically, because frequently a body part, like a hand or a foot, not attached to a person in art by Euro descent folks, is seen as just a hand, not representing a person, and therefore not representing whiteness, but it totally does. So I appreciate that there's a mixture going on there, and we see a good mixture here in this 10 of Cups. I don't get the Hanged Man, but I see that it's the Hanged Man, and I seem less likely to turn it over. I really like this Teacher of Cups. I don't think I like him as a person, maybe, but I like this drawing. It's a linen cardstock, so it shuffles amazing. It slides all over the place. If you like that, I do. I love me a linen cardstock. I really like that in the 3 of Cups, we went with older folks. Like, what a real 3 of Cups, one that lasts so long. I've been struggling to adjust to the changes in the court card names, but when I saw Tom Benjamin's review of this deck and that he switched the students and the explorers, I think I'm going to do that because that is... Okay, had a alarm go off there. Where was I? Yes. So when I saw that Tom Benjamin said he switched the order of the court cards so the student was the page, since pages are students, I've been doing that ever since because I was mixing them up. The pages, the slash explorers, students slash knights. So I've taken Tom's suggestion and I haven't had an issue since. I really love this moon card. I also like the big rubber boots and the hermit. Yeah, and just really enjoying this deck. It's both simplistic and detailed. It has clear white backgrounds and a vibrancy of color, and I love this Teacher of Wands. I think he and I might want to be best friends. That's just my thought. We might want to be best friends. And so that is the Tarot of Life. And so I also enjoyed this deck, and it is also in my daily use, in my work, with my work decks. This is the pregnancy deck by Leah Kinsella, and I'm not even going to bother to add the links. I don't like this deck. Like, this deck was so gendered and not... The beautifully illustrated deck offers support through the following categories: the elements, the 5 senses, the 5 core emotions, 5 meditations, gender, 2 gender cards, 9 months, and 9 accompanying affirmations. And like, there's... Gender, whether you're having a boy or a girl, or is it to be a surprise? Use the cards to explore the feminine moon and masculine sun energy that resides within and around us. As the sun and moon rise, masculine and feminine are always present, sometimes in balance, sometimes not. Acknowledge both. Sounds like polarity bullcrap to me. The deck also has a medicine wheel spread that this white lady made. The boy, girl, feminine cards are fucking bizarre. Upright, are you having a boy? Whatever the outcome, you honor masculine traits. Can you embrace the divine masculine from a place of love? Honoring the men in your life from present to past? Allow any healing from those relationships that need it. Understand the divine masculine and feminine or originate from the same place. Do you sense which masculine traits currently exist in you? How do you embrace those traits as you prepare to be a mother? Know the strength and compassion coexist. So in this deck, parents are always mothers. They are always women. They are carrying either a boy or a girl. They are thin, they are healthy, and have no medical complications at all to worry about according to this book. But here's the effing difference between that boy card and this girl card. So the girl, female, feminine card compared to the boy, male, masculine card, like, just listen how, like, fucked up this difference is between can you heal? Can you find it in you to honor men? Anyway, to the girl card where it's like, there is love and respect for yourself as you nurture your femininity. Honor your mother and her mother and all the women who have given birth before you. The ancient wisdom of women's bodies lies in yours. Do you know that you are having a girl, or is it a feeling? You are mothering yourself where you are in the most feminine energy during pregnancy. Consider inviting the divine feminine with nature, dance, and sisterhood. Be open to receiving help and being nurtured while maintaining the incredible experience as a woman carrying a child and learning to do the same. Like, when I went through the deck, this was how I dealt with these cards. So we have an Asian woman teaching you to meditate, and to brown people in traditional dress, because there's only 8 cards with brown people, and they're thin, or they're meditating and being higher, or they're, it's in traditional dress. Or here, where we have, I think it's a black woman and an Asian woman. It says, I'm surrounded by supportive people and I accept your help. And all these women they're surrounded by are goddamn fucking white. Like, could you get more fucking, like, what the fuck? I included that photo in my review, but I ran out of Instagram characters to describe everything about this deck that pissed me off. So, folks, there's a lot that pissed me off about this deck. Like, so you also need the incredibly awful guidebook, because 9 of the cards simply say month 1, month 2, month 3. So, month 5. We have 5 senses, 5 fingers, 5 toes. Like, anyway. I think this is a terrible deck. As a retired doula, lactation consultant, and childbirth educator within Indigenous communities who still stays in touch with other Indigenous birth workers, like, I've been fighting against the shit that's in this deck since 1998. 1998. 24 years I've been fighting against, like, crap like this where every birthing person is a mama and a woman and has to embrace their divine fucking feminine and might have unhealthy relationships with masculinity. Let me tell you the unhealthy relationships I have with women because my mother was a white racist to me because I'm Indigenous. So, like, this deck didn't ask me what my issues are with women. If I have trust in mothers from my beautiful, wonderful, toxic, abusive experience of being mothered, like, so this deck is trash. Trash. And these decks are fucking fab. They really are. I enjoy them. You're going to get 2 very different things out of these decks, whatever way you want to go. I totally encourage people to check out the Mystic Gnome and the Tarot of Life with the descriptions down below. See you later.